So we went theatrical, and you know what? Despite, okay reviews, not bad reviews, they were like no tours. Like we grossed, over 5,000 a screen on 33 screens.
Knowing that these foods are getting more and more plentiful and more fiery as we go.
Well, what I was going to say something interesting. I actually financed a movie, the sequel, smart money deal I love, to Cabin Fever, too. I did, and I financed it pretty quickly, like kind of overnight, because the first one did really well.
It was released by Lionsgate.
Right.
That was the Eli Roth who went on to make Hollywood.
Right, and so the reason, I'm, as an independent producer, I look for some things that may have not just the stars, but really a franchise or branding. And I saw an opportunity, so much stuff brought to me that that was a no-brainer for me to go to financiers right away that I work with, and I'm like, are you kidding? The first one was made $1.5 million, 43 million or something, and I'm like, so I do a list of comps and say, okay guys, financiers, look at these financial comparisons, you need to jump in on this one, and we did. So I actually really love when studios do this, and I can get the opportunity. I have another
You're alluding often to the entertainment value. Technical problem. We can hear you. You allude to the marketability, and it seems what you're saying is the marketability, entertainment value of the movie, not its edgy substance. So what are the key elements to make the movie entertaining and thereby marketable to be a success in the theaters and financially and so forth?
What's the formula? But listen, it's a melange of stuff. And it shifts all the time. Like things come from 1 month, like something like In the Bedroom, which surprisingly, like much to my surprise, grossed $40 million. And if that film had happened before 9/11, I don't think that film would have done $2 million. I really do think that tapped into some like national distilled about getting revenge and just something horrible had happened to you, and you wanted, that sort of, you wanted to get back at somebody and make things right. That being said, I mean, it's shifting all the time. Horror films have underperformed. We did a film, The Signal, which when we bought it was right in the middle of all that. By the time we released it, it was like, oof.
I'm curious about what took so long to get Signal out, because it was a film festival favorite 2 years ago.
It was a year ago.
Was it a year ago?
It's not that last year. Lou Reed, they had a Lou Reed song in there that they had not cleared.
Went out and filled the theaters with seats and the whole nine, and makes it somewhat profitable on an independent level. And when you get to a certain level, will we still be able to retain our rights at a certain level? I'm asking some naive question. Maybe I'm asking you. So,
are you talking about self-distribution or?
Yeah, I mean, if we distribute it and we get into small theaters and it grows and does from a certain point, will we still be able to retain our rights at a certain level?
Are you putting your own P&A, print and advertising?
Everything. I'm doing my own budget the whole time.
Well, you will, if generally you put your own P&A. You generally will retain DVD rights. There are companies for hire. And a lot of people do this where you will fund the release. and these people who are very skilled and have the formula to get into theaters, and things that you don't. Totally behind the curve. You know, but you generally can call your shots and know how you're going to release your DVD, and you will retain those rights. A lot of times people want to buy the DVD rights and don't want to get involved in theatrical, because the DVD is the big profit margin, and theatrical is the loss leader for establishing the profile. So, you know, DVD companies love when other people do the releasing for them, because there's no expenditure up front. So you're able to control that and make your own separate DVD deal. But if you're funding it, you know, you then generally will pay advantage of, you know, revenue that comes in from a company. But you will, if you're funding it, you will retain the rights.
Question.
Where? Sure. Yes.
Assuming,
Wait.
I don't know any microphone. Assuming I'm looking to produce a movie, different genre.
What'd you say?
I want to produce a movie, different genre, pro-American, patriotic. Two questions, both you and you. Say I'm looking at $1 million budget. Say I'm looking at I already raised $300,000. I'm looking to raise another $600,000, $700,000. My first question is, what's the potential for capital investors to be interested in that type of movie? And then what's the potential marketability of that type of movie based on the scenario today where most of the movies being made are not in that genre? They're anti-American.
They hate America.
Well,
He hates America.
I
especially.
love America. I like, you know,
Like, you can say that. You can say, no, I love America.
You're completely right that most documentaries, especially out there, do have a little bias. I do not agree with you about like just mainstream film. I think there's plenty of, you know, sort of conservative, you know, core value films that are in the mainstream theatrically that, you know, I look at them and I just, you know, they're not slanted one way or the other. Documentaries are usually made by people who have a liberal bias. I will say that is true.
Is this a documentary?
No, I don't know about
A
theatrical.
theatrical?
Yes,
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 it's a
yes.
regular.
Isn't there, okay, so, and is it about current day or is it
Yes,
very?
it's about the border down in Texas.
Okay, so, and your budget's $1 million?
Yeah, say I'm 1/3 of the way there right
And you
now.
have 300,000 equity?
Yes.
So you've got your 30% of your budget, and generally a debt fund is where they take a premium, but they don't take a back end, but they're expensive, okay? So when you're looking under this, you know, give us a can, and, you know, that'll help you with some pre-sale.
But interestingly, on the distribution marketability side of that,
Yes.
here's my. I would also say, and I'm not don't want to typecast, but the majority of people that go to specialized movie theaters are generally the liberal bent. I will say that. That's, you know.
Film costs $450. You
$450, no, it costs about $40,000.
$40,000.
That's correct.
You want to be picked up for $1 million,
That's correct.
and then it grows $250 million after that.
Just in theaters in the U.S. and internationally.
Okay, how much of that gross did the filmmakers themselves actually realize, and what kind of a deal did you structure with them? Going forward?
They got lunch, right?
They actually got a tremendous deal. They got a tremendous deal, and the reason why there were basically 5 filmmakers who were involved in getting what we call back-end profits, and they actually made a ton of money. The reason being, no one in their wildest dreams, including us, ever thought film like that, bought in Sundance, you know, made for $40,000, would ever do, even in the wildest imagination, more than $25 million. In fact, up to that time, maybe 2 or 3 Sundance films had ever done more than 25. Now, it grossed 100. Sure, and so that if the film did, in anyone's wildest dreams, gross over 50 or 100, they would get a nice piece of the profit. So the 5 filmmakers were all under 30 years old, and